Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Scandal Panel. Are you ready to handle the scandal? Nice. All right. So good to see everyone back again after a week's long break. After the last time we actually did our reviews for Shang-Chi. If you have not watched it, please feel free to go back to the links and down below, and then you can actually catch our reviews of Shang-Chi. And we have a lot of things to say about that. So we really hope that you can actually leave your thoughts and comments about that. So this week's topic, we're going to touch about 9/11. So apparently, today's date, even though it's recorded a day after September 11, but still technically in US right now, it's still 11th of September. So it's the 20th anniversary of September 11 attack. As you can see that we are wearing red today. So it's our own way of commemorating for those who gave up their lives, especially the firemen and the police out there. And so let's share your thoughts. Basically, what exactly were you guys doing during the time during 9/11? Let's start with myself, all right? When I was actually teaching part-time, I was at a tuition center and I was at the kids, and then straight before I knew it, right, I received a tinkle on my phone, and I realized that somebody's telling me saying that the Twin Towers has been under attack. And I thought that this must be some kind of a joke, and I kind of bypassed it and just brushed it off until I went home itself. I saw my parents actually had the TV on, and trust me, I thought when I saw the Twin Towers was burning, in my horror, I really thought there was some kind of special effects for a Lethal Weapon movie, but actually turns out it is to be true. So it was kind of scary sight for me. So I don't know about how do you guys feel. Let's start with Stephen.
Well, I felt that when it happened, I just couldn't believe it. It sounded like something that came out of an action movie, right? It didn't sound like it could be real life, but it is real life. At the time, I was actually doing my BMT. So I was in the army, and I was sick that day actually, so I didn't have to go out to train, but I was kind of like like doing service stuff, and so I was in the office, and therefore I have access to news. Everyone else was out in the fields training. Yeah, and well, and we heard the news. Someone had a TV. There was a TV in the office, I think. I can't remember, but saw something along those lines. We saw videos of what happened of the plane crashing into the towers, and I do have relatives that live in New York. And yeah, and they live there, and they still live there now. So that was something that we were concerned about. Thankfully, they lived in Queens, and no one was in the city center at that time. Yeah, so thankfully they made it out safe.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, actually, my cousin also was staying there at the time. He was doing some. He was actually was based in New York, working for some bank company or something like that. So that was only like a few couple of years, and he was happens to be there when it happened. So he did kind of relate. It was quite traumatic because of the airports were shut down, so he couldn't even fly back home. So it was a bit, I can imagine that the tension it was quite intense. I could actually feel that how tense is for the people who are living there as well. What about you,
Mm.
Jonathan? What were you doing during that time when it
I
happened?
was working. I was working as a part-time journalist at that time. So
Mm.
yeah, but I was covering entertainment news. But I knew that my colleagues were all covering the very traumatic incidents, and it just didn't seem real. And
Mm.
it made terrorism very very real. Yeah. After that, it was like it could happen to you. So it was everyone was like really concerned about it.
And apparently, I think it's like because of that, right? So many people have a fear of flying. Yeah, I even have like colleagues and even friends kind of like having this phobia of flying, whether they are crew or they're just passengers traveling, because through this whole thing, it's actually brought the whole entire world to a standstill, which is really quite a terrible thing to
That's
see.
right. That's right. Yeah, the airport and airline industry was forever changed at that time. After that time, right? Even till now. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Ernest? What were you doing at the time?
All right. The strange thing about this whole thing is I was actually living in Manhattan when it happened.
Oh my
And
gosh, you were
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So first of all, every morning ritual, I would have the TV on, white noise, and have my breakfast. And as I was having my breakfast, this thing would go on. And I was doing Broadway and all that. And I was like, wow, this is a very nice movie, huh? And then they're showing trailers all the time. Wow, they must be spending a lot of money on advertising, because at that time it was the like Blair Witch, the video, homemade video. I said, wow, this movie is about, the all, how they're going to do it like a home video thing. And then, living in Manhattan, New York, I was at 180th Street, First Washington Heights, that area. It was so common to hear ambulances, fire station, fire engine, it's normal. Then I was like, oh, I said, wow, something happened, no? And then when it hit me, I just felt numb. And what happened was I tried contacting friends and the phone was dead. We couldn't contact anyone. And I swear I sat down in the corner and just cried for at least 1 hour. Okay? Wow. And the thing is that I was also there when Tower B had a bomb scare few months ago. So again, it was so weird. And like all of you said, it changed flying, right? So I remember when I was trying to come back to Singapore, normally in a place where there's winter, you don't really put warm jacket because you're going to be dropped and then you're going into a heated room, which is the airport terminals. But for that year, it was very different, where because of security check, we had to actually wait in the snow winter before going in. So a lot of people were not used to, hey, we're going to wear our winter jackets just to be security checked inside. And that was the time when I remember also people were very fed up because they were asked, as the time went by, there was a lady in front of me who was asked to take off her winter boots, and she got angry and she took it up and threw it at the guy. And I said, please don't ever show your temper to these people. And true enough, she was brought into a room. It was very inconvenient. There was a lot of inconvenience for a lot of us, from how they check your bags. And the worst thing is the water thing.
Yeah.
Now, don't know, you cannot bring water or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
You can't bring liquids.
You can't bring liquids.
Gels.
And then the shoe thing, because they can pack things in the shoe.
Yes.
I do remember that because of that incident, right? It actually brought the whole airport security to another whole new level of inconvenience, especially back then. So you're not even allowed to bring any form of sharp objects, like scissors, nail clippers. Could you imagine? I went through such thorough bag search, right? They even confiscate my nail clippers. I say, are you freaking kidding me? Like, since when nail clippers are considered a weapon, I can understand about nail files. I can understand about maybe little small manicure scissors, but like nail clippers, are you kidding me? Like, I think that somehow the security got such an extent whereby they get too paranoid, or they just kind of like, it's like anything that's sharp is considered. So they have to be like literally like a police to everybody. So imagine we all have to remove our shoes, we all have to do this, we have to take off our belts. This practice has been carrying on till this day after 20 years. Could you imagine that? So at the time, every time when I travel to US, right, it becomes a norm for me. It's like straight away before I go into the check-in counter, I have to remove my shoes, I have to remove my belt, I have to remove my watch, I have to remove my stuff from my pocket, and then everything. And once you go inside the so-called X-ray, you have to lift up your arms like this, so they want to see. And many times I got metal detected. And I'm like, beep, beep, beep. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? And then they actually told me, said that, do you have a piercing on your body? And I'm like, I would not say where it is. So yeah, I will just keep it that way. So this is such a way it is. Yeah.
That's the question that will be on every listener's lips now, right? I tell you, if we hit 100 subscribers, maybe AJ can offer that as a
reveal his piercing.
Oh my god! And then I think this channel will get demonetized, or probably will get a strike for that. If I do that. Or maybe I should start my OnlyFans count. Oh yeah, my OnlyFans account.
No, Steven.
We're not telling you to show it to us, but if you want to, sure, I can set it up for you.
Oh, you can subscribe to our Patreon. So Patreon members will get full access.
And what
100 subscribers
members get, AJ?
What?
What will OnlyFans members get?
Oh, more than that, honey.
Okay.
It definitely goes into my bank account for sure. Okay, all right. Kidding aside, anyway, this is just let all our American friends out there who are watching this. I mean, our thoughts are with you. So let's all keep in moments that we should stay safe at all costs, and travel wisely, and also please be kind to one another. All right. So now moving on to the next topic, we're definitely gonna hand it over to Ernest as your moment. So take it away.
All right, so it's the Know Your Scandals department now. Okay, today's question is, describe your fantasy home. All right, shall we start with Steven?
So I have a 4-room HDB flat at Ang Mo Kio. It's one of those old resale flats. So it's very spacious, which I love. The kitchen is enormous. So I suggested doing the dream home topic because AJ is in the process of acquiring one, right? When I bought my home, actually I left a lot of it to my mom to put it together, because I was very busy with my singing teaching career. At that time, I had classes in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evenings. And so I just told my mom, you know better, you do whatever you want with it, She did consult my opinions on some things, like the colors of the cabinets. I wanted to have a chandelier in the middle of the living room. Being the theater queen that I am, I imagined like a big hanging chandelier off the ceiling. But then this is an HDB flat. The ceiling is just not tall enough to have a hanging chandelier. So she got a nice, tasteful one that's square shaped and it's about this thick. So it is hanging very nicely in my living room right now. I have enough space to move around, and it still brings that touch of glamour that I love so much. Of course, more space is always lovely. I think maybe a place with a garden. Of course, landed property is so expensive here, right? I've never been one with a green thumb, so potted plants don't really do it for me. But I think a garden where I can grow, vegetables that I eat myself would be lovely too. Yeah, so that's my dream home. Yeah.
Thank you. So, how about Jonathan? Let's go to Jonathan now.
Mine's very simple. I mean, I'm John, the SGLO fellow. So, of course, my room has to be yellow.
Do you want your house yellow?
I want my house to be yellow. Okay, come, let me show you.
It's like a honeycomb.
Yeah.
A beehive.
All right.
Oh my
god.
It's what I like my room to look like.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess it's very easy. We know what we get for John's birthday. It's so easy to get what Johnson's birthday. Anything yellow, he'll be very happy.
Yeah. Anything else? Any special things for your fantasy home? What's your fantasy home?
I like to have a movie room.
Oh.
Because I love movies. Yeah, so I would deck it out like one of those like private cinemas kind of thing. That would be like a dream come true kind of thing. Yeah, and then I have loads of like all my DVDs and everything. So yeah, that's a fantasy.
Okay. So it's a movie room and all that.
Movie room, yellow theme. That's essentially my dream home.
Yeah, well, knowing that you are such a big movie buff, I think that room will be very well utilized, right? And then of course we can come over anytime to watch movies to review for our show.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. How about AJ?
AJ, how about
Right.
you?
So for myself, right, I think my ideal home is probably something to look like this, as what you saw in the background. Yeah. So I always like the color of a bit of teal mixed with white. So in regardless of whether it's like a private condo or it's like an apartment itself, I kind of feel that this colors actually gives me a very nice white space feeling. As currently is my bedroom right now, I do have like blue and white painted on my walls.
Mm.
So the same thing as well. I guess the news as such, I think Stephen has already mentioned it. It's like, I'm planning to get my own place, so wish me all the best. And hopefully I can find the ideal house I'm looking for. And also, there are a couple of apartments that I've actually looked at. Like some are like 2 rooms and some are 3 rooms. But unfortunately, I'm not able to afford a 4 room like Stephen does. But we shall see how it goes because my thought is that I probably might want to get a 3 room flat, but that comes with a utility room. So this is something that I'm planning to buy a resale flat. So in case of what resale flat, for those of you who do not know what it means, right? It's like in basically our housing development in Singapore, such as like, the government actually built an extra room in all HDB flats, basically an extra room and a kitchen so that it kind of like used as an office or a study or kind of like a storeroom. I noticed that most HDB's apartments are a lot bigger than the condos itself. So unless you are looking for a 4 room or a 5 room condo, executive condos, right, then we should be a very expensive, very, very expensive. But till now, it's like, I'm just happy to have a 3 room and hopefully we'll make use of this as a good investment before I decided to want to move in and stay there, for good. So this is just my plan for now. Yeah.
Hmm.
Right.
Well, all the best
Okay.
on your home
Yes.
buying journey. Yeah, I hope it
Definitely.
will turn
Once
out
it's
good.
ready, I
Yeah.
will definitely would do a review. I'll definitely show you guys a view of my house once I get it. And I was being advised by friends, right? They're telling me saying that it's especially during this pandemic time, during COVID situation, it's a very good idea for you to get those resale that are already fully renovated, which means that you do not have to spend any more money than having to retile your whole entire toilets, your kitchen cabinets, whatsoever. The prices has gone up so much, so you would rather want to save money on renovation and just spend it more on getting the apartment desired. So
That's what happened to me when I got my resale flat. I was very lucky that the previous owner did a very good job with the renovation and the maintenance of the house. And because I was on a budget, so when they sold the house to me, and because when they moved out, it was a mature estate, so they wanted to get everything new TV, new fridge, everything new.
wow.
So they said they didn't want to. They said they're gonna throw away everything anyway. So they asked me, would I just want to pay a small price, and they'll leave everything, the bed, the fridge, the washing machine, everything. And
Wow.
I said, how much are you asking for? Is it like $200? I was like,
Oh,
wow, okay.
What?
it's
Yeah.
a
Oh my
steal.
god, that's such a
I
good
got everything
deal.
for $200, okay? $200. Yeah, so I
Wow.
didn't need to get I didn't need to get a bed, I didn't need to get a washing machine. Everything was there. Even all the pots and
Lucky.
pans, they didn't want to they basically they want everything new. So new plates, new pots, everything. So I got everything for $200.
Damn, lucky you. Okay, before we go to Ernest, right, I need to ask you guys something, okay? So here is the situation. So yesterday I viewed 3 places,
Yep.
and among these 2 I actually like. Here's the thing. The first place that I look is actually kind of huge. It's actually quite huge, and they do not have a storeroom because the current owner hacked the storeroom and actually joined the 2 bedrooms together. So it looks very spacious, and it has a utility room. However, it's like the furnishing, it seems quite okay, but it just probably might need to redo the whole entire kitchen cabinet,
Okay.
which is like probably going to cost about at least like maybe 8 to 10K, roughly there. The flooring is perfect because it's the marble that I wanted, that it's easily moppable, so that I wouldn't like tiles. I prefer marble floor because it's easy to clean, it's easy to maintain, especially in our humid weather. And then on the other one, the second one, actually, it's much nicer. It's owned by a family of 4,
Mhm.
but it's so much prettier. The master room, it's so well done. The toilets are very nicely tiled. They've only been staying there for less than 10 years. They're going to move up because they're moving to another place in Bedok Central. So I'm just a bit torn right now. But the only issue is that it's located a little bit further away from my parents. But at the meantime, it's like it doesn't have a utility room. So I don't know what to do. So should I take the one with utility room but without storeroom, or should I take the one with storeroom but without the utility room?
Can I ask, is this a first viewing for both places?
First viewing for both places.
Okay,
Yeah.
go for another viewing, but
Yes.
pick a different timing. Because generally, when you do a viewing, they would usually pick a very conducive time where everything seems to be perfect. So pick a different timing and the second viewing and go in with different eyes. Because last time I went for house viewing,
Yes.
and the first time I went, everything seems to be perfect at this one place.
Okay.
Then when I went a second time at a different time, I went in the daytime. The first time I went at night. So the first time everything seems perfect. Second time I went in the day, I could hear the noise in the environment. And then because it was daytime, everything was bright. So I could see all the faults over there. So don't just base it on one viewing. Base it on two or even more viewings.
Right.
So that way you actually can see all the faults if there's any.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate it.
Don't just go for one viewing of some places. Go for multiple places and then make the choice from there.
Sharing. All right. So now we head over to Ernest. So
oh, okay. So, but on that point about finding a place which is nicely renovated and all, you know, I did that when I was looking for my place. And number one is they better renovate to your taste. Because I remember I went to this place and it was brand newly renovated, but he had ugly dolphin tiles on the wall. And he was so proud. He said, you know what, I'm selling it. So I just purposely put this beautiful dolphin thing. And I was like, you know, pretend to smile. So again, it better be to your taste because everyone has different tastes, okay? Then number two, there was one occasion where my friend also got this place, which is very beautifully renovated, you know? And being the inquisitive person I am, I asked, if it's so beautiful and nice, why are they selling it? And then he found out 6 months later is because the couple that was there, this is their new home, the couple got married, but the day before the wedding, the mother died on the bed in the room. And that's why it's beautiful, untouched, and they want to sell it.
Oh my God.
So you see, you sometimes wonder, hey, why are you selling this beautiful place? Have you asked that?
Actually, to be honest, I really don't mind, you know.
Yeah,
if it's cheap,
if
right?
you don't mind, it's fine. If you find it's no night.
I have two more tips, okay? Okay, because previously when my parents bought their resale flat, they came and see it, I think, only a few times, and it was always at a certain time. So I don't know why the agent was very smart, you know. It's always at a certain time. Later, when we moved into the flat, right, we realized that the house tenant actually owed loan sharks lots of money. And then we were the victim of loan shark for a very long time. They came and locked our doors. My brother was having his exams at the time. They locked us in. And lucky they didn't smoke us or anything like that. But that's one thing to take note. And another thing is that, like Ernest said, there's sometimes a reason why places are very pretty. I went to one house viewing where the entire house was so pristinely done. And then we opened one bedroom, and that bedroom was filled with like idols of all kinds. It was like give me all the chills. You know, it was like the medium.
Oh, yeah, so seriously, you know, you must question also, why are you selling this?
Yeah.
At least no, if you don't mind, fine. At least no, you know what I mean?
No, but the first place that I actually been to, right, they were very honest with me because they were saying that both the parents already passed away. So basically, that estate is actually now left to the children to actually to sell it away. So when I went to the master room, right, that place actually reminds me of my, my grandma, like a nursing bed.
Yeah.
And there's like it's like totally giving me, reminisce moments, because I remember how my grandma, she passed away last year. So that's exactly how the place is. But to me, I felt that there was a spirit of, I felt sense of peace, because to me, it's like, unless those people who are a bit more superstitious and kind of stuff, they can always like send someone to pray over it or something like that. For me, it's like, I have no issues with it. As long as I can just like, pray a blessing over it. And I think it should be fine. And I think, I might need to get someone who is very good in feng shui to come view it, because maybe this person maybe have more experience than me. I don't know. So
no, but also, with anything, like just if you're going to a new company for an interview and trust your gut.
Yeah. So,
but it's more a feeling. When you go in, it's a feeling, because being from an interior background, to me, I like a do-me-ups. Like, you don't know my taste, give me a chance to do it up. If you acknowledge it's so ugly, sell it to me cheap and I'll do it up. You see? So it's a different attitude towards it. Okay. My fantasy home, basically, very interesting. A lot of people want my fantasy home is number one. I'm a neat freak, so cannot be too big, easy to clean. Cleaning is very important. When I look for fixtures, lights, and all that, easy to change bulb, because I've ever had this beautiful art decor bulb. I tell you, when the bulb blew, we were figuring how to change it. It was so difficult. Don't screw here, screw that. Okay, so now I have a beautiful bowl. Oh, okay, easy. And then cleaning is one thing, but also being a horror fan, like Jonathan, please, no far away place where if you scream, if a murderer chases you, your neighbor is 10 miles away. No, not such rubbish.
No Sengkang, no Pongo.
No, Pasir Ris, run, Langwan, nobody.
No Yishun or Canberra.
Nobody. And then, all those bungalows in, because when I do interior, I go to all those bungalows, in certain Watten Estate, Bukit Timah, right?
Yeah.
All the alleys. I've ever been lost in a house before, Dyson Road. I remember near the Novena there. I actually went and I got lost. Where the road is by some housing mogul. Anyway, so all those type of, you twist, turn, forget it. I want it simple, beautiful, probably in a condo. But one thing I realized from the years, one thing I like about HDB is that now our town council is very on the ball. Because I've met beautiful condos, but it depends on your management. And not all condo managements are good.
Yep.
Seriously. HDB now, you just say, you know what, you better get this done, or else social media, they come. When I just got back, I was surprised because I had to do some changes, there were some cracks. Once I called town council, email the next day, 2 days later, a representative came down. Wonderful. So that's the good thing about HDB. But a bigger, nicer space. I don't know if I want one of those, the ones at Queenstown and Pinnacle, very, very high up with so many residences, when the lift breaks down, I don't know how. But like the Pinnacle, how many floors? 40 something floors, is it? 40.
Have you watched the Towering Inferno?
I know Towering Inferno and all that, right? So it's like, again, you don't know who your neighbors are. For anywhere, your neighbors are so important. And a lot of people have this thinking that, the class of people in HDB is not so good. So, I'd rather get a condo. Let me tell you, my friend got a penthouse in the condo, right? But so happened that next door, which is quite far away, was a family from a certain country who was very rich as well. And they got into a fist fight because of a fish tank.
Oh my God.
All right. So let me tell you the type of neighbors you get. You never know. because there are rich people from you know where, okay? They are buying up all the condos, and you meet them in the lobby, you meet them in the lifts, you meet them everywhere, you know? And the worst thing is that. So one thing, if you have a good neighbor wherever you stay, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, right, to our dear viewers and listeners, if any of you has any advice for AJ on his house buying adventure, maybe share them with us in the comments. Yeah. So, well, the comments of our YouTube channel. Yeah, I think, and we will try to answer as soon as we can. I think AJ will really appreciate the advice that you guys have for him, right? Yeah.
Now that All Stars is already over, so what do we have left? While waiting for Drag Race UK Season 3 to come up, which is going to be on the 23rd of September, which is like 2 weeks away, so we're not going to wait. So let's talk about Holland right now. So how many of you have actually caught the latest episode of Drag Race Holland? All right. My God. So what do you guys think of the latest episode? That was like fire episode of the season. Oh my God. I wasn't expecting was it for. Thoughts, Jonathan?
I think it was a huge mistake for them to invite people who worked on the show last season to be on this show.
And who are those contestants, just in case for those people who doesn't know?
The Countess and Vivaldi.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
So they actually on last season.
They were part of the makeup and hair team in the season 1.
Wow.
So the Countess was doing Fred's makeup, and Vivaldi was supplying wigs to Fred last season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is like a big,
Yeah.
So this is kind of controversial. So in this case, why would they get those people to come and participate in Drag Race? They do not have Drag Race contestants? Doesn't make sense.
Well, I think they are talented queens in their own right. So, they should, I suppose, I mean, we can talk about being fair or not, but I think they do justify having their place with the talent that they bring.
Speaking of justified, right? Come on.
How long they should have stayed is debatable,
Yeah.
But at least they justify at least one episode, right? Yeah, give them that credit.
It brings new light as to why Countess stayed a week longer than she should.
Yeah.
You have to admit, Countess was actually quite good. She was very polished in the looks, but the only thing she doesn't deliver was her personality. She was too poised. She's too poised. She can't even lip sync. You can even tell that she can't even lip sync for nuts. So obviously she's out for sure.
Yeah, and really, like anyone who saw that Countess versus Ivy Elise Monroe lip sync, anyone with eyes would agree that Ivy won that. To say that both are equally bad is just nonsense. That is favoritism speaking.
If I was Fred, I would actually do a double elimination. Seriously, just to save one episode. Literally, because it's like, come on, Ivy Elise already kind of like 3 weeks in a row, she was in the bottom. And then obviously Countess is like, and I would just literally just have a double sachet. And
also, I thought it was a shame that Ivy Elise couldn't take part in the makeover episode, because I think with his like Asian heritage and his mom from Indonesia, I think he would have a more interesting story to tell. With like racial discrimination, especially in times of COVID, the difficulty his mother had migrating from Indonesia to Holland, and maybe even some of the colonial history between Holland and Indonesia and so on. Of course, maybe they felt that because Keita Minaj's mom is also from Indonesia, so there's a bit of repetition in the stories. But Keita Minaj, I mean, maybe he's mixed blood, but he does appear Caucasian, let's just say, to people who don't know any better. Whereas for Ivy Elise, there's no hiding. He is of Asian heritage. That's why he's the one who got beat up because of COVID hate. Yeah. So I would think that
he looks like my cousin. So
yeah. Whereas as we have seen, right, the Countess brought her best friend to the show, and they didn't really talk too much. They didn't really talk much about their story and so on. They were just best friends in high school, and That's about it. There were no like bullying stories or anything like that. It was just best friends. And their presentation was also best friends. They were like the mean cheerleaders in high school.
Okay, so spoilers alert. So
Okay.
basically, Vanessa really kind of like her turban actually fall off.
Okay.
And it's such it happens, right? She was complaining, oh my God, it's like, I'm like, is this okay? And then, okay, so she got very, very flustered over it. She kept asking the crew, she kept asking other queens, is it okay? Did my turban fall out? And Vivaldi got very annoyed and said that she's always complaining about the littlest thing and making a big deal out of the smallest thing.
Okay.
So apparently, when she even had to stop the whole entire production just to ask the production assistant, is my hair okay? Is my hair? And then Vivaldi said, just get on with it. It's like, you stop obsessing with your hair whatsoever. So Vanessa, on the other hand, she got very, very upset. She said, I have a hair problem since during her transition whatsoever. And how dare you call out my insecurities and just relax and chill. You don't have to be so dramatic over it. I didn't come on to you. You don't come on to me. So Vivaldi said, whatever, screw you. Nope. Not everything is always has to be you. So it became a scale up. It's such a problem. So she went backstage. She threw a tantrum and said that, and she started pointing at Vivaldi, saying, think I do not know your secret. And it's like, think that, and then she literally blurted out in front of all the television in a confessional saying that Vivaldi actually brought in a phone where actually in the contract is not supposed to have a phone. So I was expecting, oh my gosh, shit, is this going to be like a repeat episode of Willem's situation? Because Willem also got disqualified because for that. And Willem gave hell to Wow and RuPaul for not being disqualified because of that, because God knows how many queens have snuck in phones. Yeah. So the issue is that, come on, everyone, the reaction reviews, I've said everybody that I've known, like Dan TV, even Maddie Rants, even like Valerie Vision, they all have said that, come on, everybody snuck in phones. It's just a matter of whether you get caught. So just so happened Vivaldi got caught. And how did she get caught? I also don't understand. So apparently Vanessa's supposed to keep it as a secret, but she did not. So she, in spite, she actually blurted out. And obviously in the, during the runway challenge, the panel, things happen.
Okay, let me watch.
I will say that it is one of the most...
Let me add something else. The whole episode felt very much like a repeat of what happened in Drag Race Thailand Season 2, when Mocha Diva felt that she wasn't doing well, and in her insecurity, she lashed out that Genie actually brought props into the show. So
not Genie, Kim Hui. Kim Hui, yeah.
On the show, and then Kim Hui got disqualified as a result. So it felt very, very similar, and I felt that with the high that Vanessa had in the last episode with the makeover, to suddenly behave the way she does, it felt very petty.
That's right. Because you know why? I have very mixed feelings about this, because first and foremost, right, I've also witnessed this issue happens on another reality TV show, which is Asia's Next Top Model. In case many of you do not know, Asia's Next Top Model season 4, okay, there was this twins, Indonesian twins, actually went to tell on the producer on this Singaporean model, say that she snuck in a phone. And because of that got her disqualified. And I felt that it was very mean, because the twins, when they were in a confession, they said that, oh, it's time that she deserved the justice that she get. I'm like thinking, you bitches, is like, come on. Like, is that really necessary to get someone out of the competition because she happens to be a threat? And this Singapore model, it happens to be quite a good one. She's a strong model, but she got disqualified because they happen to have a little spat, and the twins just happen to like take revenge on her and tell on the producer that she had a phone with her. So I've always feel that, I don't know, this is something. Yeah, I know in the contract, right, it's against the rules, but still, I don't know, it's unethical.
So wait, but it's also unethical to break the laws, the rules.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So it's a competition. That's why a lot of people say, where do you draw a line? We can be friends, we can be enemies, but it's a competition. So they say in life, don't do things if you know someone can sabo you about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel too. I mean,
I
these
feel
are
like
the
that.
rules are set in place, and you know, like
Mm.
someone has an unfair advantage, and having a phone is a big unfair advantage. You can do so much, you know. At the very least, it feels like it's the one thing that can keep you
Yeah.
sane. And so you see the other contestants, they said that, yeah, I wish I had a phone, you know. So it's really unfair to all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So should Vanessa have said that? I feel that there was a breaking point because she wasn't angry at everyone else. She was only angry at Vivaldi, you know, and she it seems that throughout the whole day, all on camera, Vivaldi has been like making snide comments that she thinks is like being smart and sassy, but it's just downright rude. And as a seasoned queen, as an old queen who has been through so much, she probably feels that she doesn't have to take it. You know why? Why am I
Yeah.
taking it this from someone who's like 20 years my junior, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I think it had what it happened, the way it happened. It is you know, by all accounts, one of the most explosive fights in all of Drag Race history. I
But
tell you,
also,
Ernest.
but
Yeah,
just
if you
like
like watching
anything,
reality TV
yeah,
fights, this is
this is
one that
it.
you really have to
Okay,
watch.
but just like anything, you have to set the precedent. If you allow one, the future won't be good. You know, that is the
Exactly.
first thing.
And if Fred
If
forgave Vivaldi, right? I mean, more people are just gonna do so. More people are just gonna follow suit.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then if you let her, do you know the other contestants can sue the company
What do you mean
because
I
it's a
did?
contract. It's a contract. That means if you let this go, the other contestants can sue the company because your sign, you're not supposed to. How come you allow this one to do it?
Yeah.
Remember there was one cooking contest or what? She brought in her own spices and you're not allowed to or something like that.
Master Chef, is it?
There was something like that. So you cannot bring anything or you cannot for a designer contest, you cannot bring your pattern.
Yeah.
And someone was caught. Someone was caught bringing
Oh, was it
in
Project Runway?
Project Runway. Someone brought the patterns, cannot out.
Oh,
You see,
okay.
it's little things like that. If it's in the law, because if it's not in the rule book, then okay, you never said I cannot. But I tell you, yes,
it begs the question, right, Ernest?
huh?
How long did Vanessa know about the phone, and why did she only to her now? And
It's a good
like,
time. I mean,
if Vivaldi wasn't doing well, and she was like constantly at bottom, do you think Vanessa will even bother?
no, but that.
Yeah.
But that is why she could have waited for if she was the top three, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
basically, don't do anything that people can blackmail you.
Yeah.
Okay, full stop. That's in life. That's a whole life thing. Yeah.
And the funny thing is that, okay, since Vivaldi should be smart enough to know that Vanessa already know about that secret.
Yeah.
He should know better not to try to cross her, right?
Some people,
And obviously trying to give her attitude and stuff like that. Come on, it's really unnecessary. And I do feel that both also kind of like, you know, both are kind of like, you know, it gets like it's a case of which comes first, the chicken or the egg.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, if Vivaldi has not done anything to provoke Vanessa wouldn't have exploded in such a way that, you know, went hormonal and starting to tell on Vivaldi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to watch.
Yeah, and also if Vivaldi didn't break the rules, there would be nothing for him to be caught about. You know?
As simple as that.
Yeah. But that being said, right, you know, I guess that really sealed Vivaldi's chance of winning because it is for sure. Because I don't think, you know, Vivaldi is probably going to win the whole thing for sure. And plus, the secret's already out that she used to work for WoW, for Fred and stuff like that. So do you think they will actually get someone like, you know?
She said so on the episode. Well, she said it in her confessionals. Well, I did have a Fred last season.
That's stupid, right? I mean, why do you do this kind of thing? You're actually sabotaging yourself.
Yeah.
Because
I guess we're all talking about it now. They might as well just put it in the show, right?
I know the producer can actually edit it down, but they did not. So in the end, he's kind of sealed Vivaldi's state. It kind of sealed Vivaldi's fate in a competition. So in this end, I'm rooting for Kida Minaj and My Little Pony itself, the so-called ex-couple but turned best friends. I think that's kind of cute, kind of
It
sweet.
is very cute.
So it's a very Betty and Veronica, one blonde, one brunette. So it's kind of very cute. And of course, I don't get me wrong. When I first met Kida Minaj, right, I didn't have a good impression because first and foremost, the name is such a turn off. The name, what kind of a fucking drag name is Kida Minaj? Like, and really, I had a bias because I cannot stand Nicki Minaj. Sorry to say this, I really cannot stand her.
Anaconda don't.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she's so
You're not a fan of
annoying.
Anaconda.
Imagine you name your drag name after someone that I hate. It's like, gosh, that really set a bad impression on me. So, but then she grew on me and she really wowed me with her words. I just hope that she wins the whole thing. She should change her freaking name because, yeah.
She's not the first drag race queen who named herself after Nicki Minaj though. Oh, this is
Nicki doll.
Well, this is very random drag race trivia. Jonathan, do you know who I'm talking about? The last name is Minaj, so it's not Nicki Doll.
Really? Oh.
Oh dear, it's slipped my mind, but I know who you're talking about.
All right. Shall I say?
Is Heidi in Closet still Heidi in Closet?
Yes, Heidi in Closet.
Yes. Okay, it is Mini Minaj from Drag Race Thailand, Season 1, first eliminated.
Yes.
First eliminated. So she was only in that one episode in the season that hardly anyone watched. So it's not even on WoW Plus. So,
Okay, I'll have to go and watch it. I will.
Awesome.
Heidi is continuing her name because her fans are closet cases.
Yes.
The fans are all the fans are calling themselves closet cases.
Yeah, some of that's kind of cute, actually, to be honest with you. All right, and for that, we have come to the end of this episode. We hope you have enjoyed yourself. And before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And if you want us to discuss any topics in future, please don't forget to leave down in the comments below. So for that case, be ready to get scandalized, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.